Thank you, Judian. And thanks to all the folks that made this possible today. And thank you all for being here and allowing us to share our time and your time together. We really appreciate being here, and the message that we have to share today is a sound experience. As you entered here today, did you notice the water sounds? How did it make you feel? What did you think? Throughout history, sound has been used by every culture for a variety of purposes: healing, prayer, achieving altered states of consciousness, expression, release, influencing emotions, pleasure, even medical tests, and perhaps even levitation. Sound waves can penetrate some forms of matter. This is what makes ultrasound and sonar imaging possible. Chanting, kirtan, mantras, humming, toning, voiced affirmations, playing instruments, amplified sound, music, even warnings. The list goes on. Has anyone ever experienced the effects of having tuning forks, or a didgeridoo, or crystal bowls, or drums, or other sounds projected at your body? Can you recall what that felt like? Did you notice a change in your thoughts, feeling, or emotions? Do you prefer or dislike a sound of a particular instrument? For me, I have a very difficult time listening to harmonica. I don't know what it is about it, but I've never been really fond of high screechy noises. So maybe that explains it. There are only a few times when I can tolerate harmonica. Or have you allowed yourself to experiment with making your own sounds? I grew up in an environment that basically children should be seen and not heard. And this has kind of stuck with me throughout my life. And you may wonder how I'm able to be up here and doing this kind of thing. It's taken a lot of work on my own part to have the courage to come forth with my own sound and be comfortable with it. So the first song we're going to do, we created it from a jam session about a month ago. Susan had already written the words, and we had actually performed it as kind of a rap style song. But don't worry, we're not going to do the rap today. But that day, we just started jamming and playing around, and it was kind of an aha moment for Susan. She's like, that's it. That's Wordsmith. That's it. So we honed it and played with it, and this is the new incarnation of We Are the Wordsmiths. Thank you. So the words that we use and how we use them shape our reality and our experiences. We're going to talk a little bit about the effects of sound. Jonathan Goldman has done extensive research on the healing effects of sounds. He had pictures taken of himself while intoning the divine name, I am, using Kirlian photography. Notice how similar that and I am are. As he began, the photographs showed a white light emerging from his mouth and increasing his energy field. The longer he intoned, the larger and brighter the white light became. He said, the intent with our sound is very important and has great implications for personal and planetary harmony and healing. Certain frequencies or pitches are important as well. We know that everything is vibration, everything's energy, and everything vibrates with a certain frequency, as do each of our different organs and our chakras, our power centers. Many musicians have created music for the purpose of balancing the energies and focusing healing. I would invite you to look up and check out the music of Stephen Halpern, Sophia, Alan Rubik, Dean Evanson, Frank Delarue, and even Mannheim Steamroller. And Tom Kenyon spontaneously intones sounds and songs for healing purposes through his meditations when he performs at different locations around the world. I invite you to check out some of his music. It's definitely otherworldly, and its effects can be quite profound. Using our own self-created sounds as a means of resonance and release can produce changes such as lowered blood pressure, relaxation, by the release of neurochemicals in our brain. I myself have used music composition in my own grief journey, and I produced a CD of some of the music that I've written. And those are back there if anyone's interested. And Susan also has 2 CDs back there that expressed many different emotions, thoughts, and feelings. So I also invite you to check out the Monroe Institute for more on sound research. There's so much out there. It's amazing. Something that's currently happening with technology and sound frequencies is changes to weather prediction. As we expand our technology capabilities into the 5G range, that band of frequencies is interfering with our ability to predict weather, because water droplets in the atmosphere vibrate at the same frequency. So instead of being able to forecast, say, 10 to 14 days out, we're going back to 2 to 3 days because of that conflict in that range of frequencies. Most of our current technology is still at 4G, but rapidly expanding into 5G. Think of your cell phones and all the technology that we use. The use of music and sound in media influences how we feel, our emotions, and our thoughts. I was awestruck one time while watching a movie that had no background music, other than a car radio playing in one of the scenes. The movie was completely without music, and I found myself quite perplexed as to how to feel about what was going on in the movie and the messages. Because we realize so much upon how we feel about something in order to categorize it. Well, what if we couldn't hear normal, everyday sounds. And this song by Susan addresses this loss. The song was written for a boy who was born with no ears. One of the most fascinating research data to me is water research by Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan. Sound has the ability to affect and change physical structure, as shown by these photos taken before and after exposure to different stimuli. Types of music, mere words taped to water samples, spoken words, and prayer or thought. He froze the water and photographed the crystals that formed after these stimuli. He said, music is a form of healing before it is an art. One can see the incredible effect that sounds, words, and intentions have on water. Well, our bodies are more than 70% water. So the effects of sound on our bodies can be inferred by his research. Water has memory, he said. Did you know that tears of grief have a different chemical compound than other kinds of tears? This is not magic. This is science. So let us now watch a video that a teacher created using Dr. Emoto's work to show her students the power of words. pretty profound research, I think. The interesting thing to note about the heavy metal music that they played had negative words with it. And so when they did heavy metal music with positive words, there was a change in the crystal formation. So power of words is incredible, and how we think about ourselves and other people. So definite. The reason that a lot of the slides were out of focus is that crystal formation are three-dimensional. They're not just one-dimensional, so they're a little bit hard to capture the full clarity. I would invite you to go on the website and see his work in more clarity. It's just absolutely fascinating to me. We're going to do a song for you called Soul Matters. It matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking, so matters every day. It matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking every day. I'll lend a helping hand, stand up for what's right, use my talents for good. I'll lend a helping hand, stand up for what's right, that's all matters in the life. Well, it matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking, so matters every day. It matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking every day. I'll pay a compliment, sing another's praise, spread a cheery word or two. I'll pay a compliment, sing another's praise, speak so matters different ways. And it matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking, so matters every day. It matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking every day. Think God is good for all, because of thoughts and prayers, hold that judgment far away. Think God is good for all, because of the thoughts and prayers, their soul matters, everyone shares. And it matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking, so matters every day. It matters what you do, it matters what you say, it matters what you're thinking every day. Soul matters every day. Soul matters every day. Soul matters every day. Thank you. I wrote that one back in about April. So, all right. We're going to do a little switcheroonie here. So she's going to take over on the keyboards for this next song, and I'm going to sit quietly by and play a computer part.
Yes, a literal computer part. It's called a heat sink.
So theories on using sound. On Jonathan Goldman's site, there's a link to research done on sonic levitation. In this research, a droplet of water was levitated by using a sound frequency, which is a pitch. Now the basics of music are dependent on frequency. You have one note, say a C, and then if you add the same note an octave higher, the shape of the water droplet changes. This added note is called a harmonic. The points doubled every time a new harmonic was added. So adding the fifth note of the chord, in this case a G, if you're talking a C chord, again doubles the points on the shape of the water droplet. By adding a third above the chord, octave, it again doubled the points. And I bring this up to show the effect of different frequencies. Frequencies that are in perfect harmony with each other produce overtones, even though they're not physically being sung or played. The creation of these overtones also depends upon the shape of the space, acoustics, in which the sound is in. Think of cathedrals or domed rooms or buildings with cavernous rooms that cause sounds to expand or echo. Sounds bounce off the inner surfaces and create echoes or resonance. There are theories of the use of sound to levitate the massive stones used to build the pyramids and other mammoth structures in the world. Whether the technology existed in this planet's history was man-made or assisted by extraterrestrial sources is another question. Anyone here a Trekkie? Watch the old, Star Trek series? Remember Dr. Bones and his tricorder? And how he would wave it over a body that had some kind of internal organ damage or maybe a wound or something like that. Or maybe they were dead. And he would wave his little tricorder over them and all it would do is emit a sound. And the person was miraculously healed. Well, I think we are verging on those possibilities. I think we've barely just begun to scratch the surface of the potential of use of sound in all of our areas of life. With this next song that Susan wrote, let your mind expand into possibilities. You might close your eyes maybe. We're going to kind of get a little psychedelic on you.
No.
And I think that's kind of perfect since this is the 50th year anniversary of Woodstock. So,
Yeah, there you go.
enjoy.
And she was not kidding when she said she was going to play a computer part. If you have ever torn apart an old computer, you will find one of these in there. They're called heat sinks. But when I pulled the computer apart and I was playing with the sound and I was like, this would be really neat. So found sound. It's very weird, but very cool. And yes, I really am a Trekkie and a computer person. Okay. Sustain this. Just give me a second for sustaining. Something's weird and unusual. Yes. It's my most keyboardy weird song, so. What is it not doing what it's supposed to be doing? I'm sorry, strange and glorious things are happening with my saws. Could be. Not that one. It's gotta be. It's not doing it. Why is it nothing that you changed? Apologize for weird and glorious
Technical
things.
difficulties.
Technical
Don't you love them? I
Wow.
think you got everything worked out.
Wow.
Sound.
The journey into passion.
That's
That's
right.
really what it is.
Far away.
There it is. That feels better. That's. Technical difficulties, but we got there.
That song could go on for 15 minutes if you let it. So.
You had psychedelic lights?
Right. Takes you out there. Just totally get into it. The sounds of joy and celebration. By choosing the sounds that we expose ourselves to, for those that are pleasing, we can affect our overall well-being. One of those is laughing. It's very difficult not to start laughing when you hear laughter. So let's all do this. This is a participatory thing. So you're going to place your hands on your belly. No judgment here. Okay? And you're just going to do ha. And just let the belly move however it's going to move. Just feel how the belly feels when you do ha. 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 Did you find a change in your mood from before this exercise? Can we learn to laugh at everyday things? Well, this next song talks about that. And how does that change our perspectives as we contemplate this in the next song? And She Laughed by Susan Seifer.
Back to our own microphones. Here we go. Something's wrong. No, I think it's me. No, I think, oh, this happens sometimes. My little girl must be live music. Yep, my E went completely wonky. Hello, E. You're very important.
You know why this this happens, is because the effect of pressure, barometric pressure,
Yes.
and moisture in the air, humidity, changes the strings, and so the pressure of the strings, and the wood of the guitar also have a bearing in what happens if you let a guitar sit. Same things happens to piano over a long period of time. The strings, loosen up and the pitches change. So you have to periodically tune them. So it sounds right.
Tuning song. La, la, la. This is not really the song we're going to sing, but la, la, la. She was talking about harmonics earlier, and especially with female voices. You can hear the harmonic. When you're listening to us, even without Dave, you may think there's a third note. It's because if you're singing in perfect harmony in the upper areas, the female voice produces a third sound. Only if you're in perfect harmony. So we often produce extra harmonics around here. So if you think you're hearing a third female voice, that's the angel. She runs along with the Nightbird Band all the time. It's one of the things I love to do when I'm teaching voice, is produce harmonics with my students.
Susan,
Teach them.
can you either turn up your mic when
Sure.
you're playing the guitar or turn down the
Well, I
guitar?
turned the guitar down and then it was not loud enough, so it's one of those balancing acts.
I want to hear you, and I
Okay.
don't always hear you.
Well, I'll bring me up then. How's that? A little bit more? Yeah. Well, we tried bringing me up earlier and then I disappeared again. So it's
You lean
Better?
forward to speak into the mic.
Yes.
And sound
And
check,
I-
and then you lean back to sing.
See, I suppose I do. It's like the fear of the microphone. There's a horror to be had.
Good observation.
Thank you. Well, and part of it is the microphone leans away from me at times. I swear to God, it runs away. So we set it up. We set it up at one point. Where did I just put my? Oh, thank you. I handed it to her. So let's try this again. I'm so sorry but you would not have liked the song with all of that in it.
And she laughed.
And
That's
she
right.
laughed.
We laughed
Through.
at this.
I'm going to take this one off because it's going to make me nuts. By the time I'm done, I'll be wearing no rings. Okay, here we go.
Your self-created sound can be used for balancing energies and changing our emotional well-being. The sense of vision can interfere with our auditory experience, being so overpowering that it distracts from concentrating on the experience of hearing alone. So for this next song, I'm inviting you to just close your eyes and just focus on the music and the lyrics, recognizing that each of us has a song or our own music within to dance to. Dancing.
Turn on the light, and sound comes after. Swerve through the night and hear the laughter. Let the music dance across your eyes. Fill your senses with its eyes. Walking hand in hand with your soul. While the song inside your mind lifts you to the universe, run higher, higher, higher. The eagle's wings, the riders on the wild it sings, more than the great rocks from ground, and like the water cascades down the mountain. While the song inside your mind lifts you to the universe, run higher, run higher, run higher. Sweating eternal from the high descent. Your memory, what it means to truly be free and dancing, to the music, within you, Turn on the light, sound comes after. Soar through the night and hear the laughter. The music dances across your eyes. Fill your senses with its eyes. Walking hand in hand with your soul.
We're going to do a guided sound meditation now, for which we will have our eyes closed. Using only our voices, I want you to create some sounds. There's no right or no wrong. This is your experience. If you're feeling a little self-conscious, just focus only on the sound. Tap into what you desire to express using sound. What feels right in this moment, in this time, in this place? Use your inner sense. Only you knows what the sound needs to be. And at first, it's going to sound a little cacophonic. And that's perfectly fine. There's no judgment here. Just focus on your sound. If you hear something that someone else is doing and you want to do that, go ahead. Go with the flow, whatever feels right. And then we're going to move into toning and om. So just listen for the change. It doesn't matter what frequency. And as you do this, start focusing on something that you want to invite into your life. And hold that thought as you om. Then we will collectively reduce the volume of the sound of the oming into silence. And we'll just rest in the silence for a couple of minutes. Be mindful of anything you sense. Just take note of it. The power of collective sound is amazing. So let's begin. Any sound you want. There's no judgment. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ah. Wee. Ah. Ee. Woo. Ha 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 ha. Cha 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 cha. Ah. You can get as loud as you want. There's no limits here. No judgment, no limits. Whee! Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. this time, and this place, and this moment. You can open your eyes when you feel ready. This is a tool that you can use. Try intoning at home, or owning, or voicing your prayers. Try focusing your attention on a specific area of your body and toning or vocalizing to affect change. You might have felt a little strange, and that's okay, especially if you're not used to doing this. But the more that you do it, the more confidence you'll have, and the more power you will realize in utilizing your own sound. Remember, there's no judgment. Just allow yourselves to experience something new. So at this time, let's voice our offertory statement together.
Divine love
Flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. This song I wrote back in March, and we're using voiced affirmation, and you're going to sing with us on the choruses, and it's very easy. I know that you will pick it up with no problem, and let me get my settings here real quick, and we'll moving on. No, this is almost country, kind of swing, sort of soft shoe, if you will.
No, I'm the one who's constantly doing strange and glorious sounds.
All right. Okay. I have no sound.
Oh, that's, pardon me for killing the sound there.
Maybe we'll just do this a cappella.
No, let's not.
No,
Let's not.
just with guitar.
Should be fun.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I have health and healing, a wealth and well-being. I have peace, understanding, and love. I have health and healing, a wealth and well-being. I have peace, understanding, old men.
Let's take a minute and just center into the blessing these gifts, blessing our time together. Divine Spirit, as we center in our inward thankfulness, come bearing gifts, bearing gratitude, that we have the opportunity to share with this community, at Unity Grand Valley and at large. Bless these gifts as they go forward to the work that they will do to bring teachings and love and opportunities for everybody here in the valley. Thank you for this opportunity to learn about sound, vibration, music, and how to bring it into our lives to better tune in and connect with you. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. We are so grateful for all that we have. Something I do at home is thank all the beings that contribute to my food. The plants, the animals, humans, Source, the universe, Mother Earth, and bless it for the highest good and nourishment of my mind, body, soul, and spirit. So for this closing song, I wanted something that everybody probably knows. So you can stand up, loosen the joints a little bit since you've been sitting extra long. I really appreciate your patience today. And we are going to borrow the Carpenter song, Sing a Song. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you. Namaste.
I'm telling you, it's either there or it's not there. It's very bizarre today. Sorry, I'm fighting with my guitar. Occasionally we have a war.
We're working with it. Peace to the guitar. Peace to the guitar.
Come on.
Peace.
That's why it's occasionally too loud and occasionally not there. So.
Sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of good things, not bad, sing of happy, not sad, sing a song. Make it simple to ask all night long. Don't worry that it's not good.